Hey, caregivers, real change requires action at every level, even legislatively. Do you have any policies or proposals that are out now? You said that the Older Americans Act is back up, ready to go. We're hoping it's going to pass.
Right.
What other things are coming down the pike that we need to know about?
I'll give you three. Okay.
Okay.
One's the Old Americans Act. Okay. And here's the situation there. The Senate of the United States is doing a marvelous job of trying to get the Old Americans Act done. They've introduced the bill 2 times, and bipartisan basis led by Senator Cassidy and Senator Sanders to renew the Old Americans Act for 4 years, and give it additional funding. Since I'm talking to somebody from Michigan, the chairman of the committee in the House is Congressman Wahlberg from Western Michigan.
Mhm.
He holds the key. If everybody in the state of Michigan, in particular in his district, would spend time saying, please free the Old Americans Act up, please get it passed, that would be a huge favor. Okay.
Okay.
And the more, all politics is local, so the more voices that are heard from that place, because I don't sense that he has any real issue with the Older Americans Act. In fact, he's told advocates that it will get done this year.
Mhm.
But without getting too Washingtonian in my comments, you've got a perfectly good bill. All they have to do is say, we accept your bill. You can tweak it a little bit here and there, but fundamentally, this is a good bill.
Mhm.
What we don't want to have happen is to reopen the entire Older Americans Act up, because God knows what trouble that could lead to. Okay?
Right. You don't want to skeletonize it at all.
No. So Congressman Wahlberg is the key. All right.
Okay.
The minute he starts to say, let's move on this thing, we will see it get done this year.
Okay. I'll reach out. I'm on the east side, but I'll still reach out.
I appreciate that. And to all your friends on that side, we need their voices.
Okay.
And if they don't, sometimes you have to say, he knows what the Older Americans Act is, but if people say, don't mess up our Meals on Wheels, or don't mess up our elder abuse prevention program, they're part of the Older Americans Act.
Yeah.
Secondly is the Elder Justice Reauthorization and Modernization Act, okay, which is the bill that we're waiting to get introduced by Congressman Neal and Senator Wyden. You have Republicans in the delegation, in the Michigan delegation, not your senators, but you have some House members who are, and if they could be convinced to join as a sponsor of the Elder Justice Reauthorization bill, that would be helpful.
Awesome.
And the third one, which is in my book the no-brainer of them all, and I'll try to make it as simple as possible. If you get scammed out of $100,000 and your tax bill comes, you're taxed on that $100,000 you lost.
Wow. Okay.
Okay. And there's a bill in both the House and the Senate, a bipartisan bill called the Tax Relief for Victims of Scams, Disasters, and Crimes. Okay. Mm-hmm. To make them not have to pay tax on those things.
Okay.
Urging support for passage of that bill would also be helpful, because that would be, if you talk about tax relief, if you're talking about, a tax bill that helps real people, this all grew out of a story of a retired federal employee who got scammed out of this money, and she got her tax bill. She said, "What's this about?" And to their credit, Congressman Raskin from Maryland, but Senator Moody, a Republican from Florida, sponsored the bill along with Senator Baldwin in the Senate. Pushing that bill over the finish line would be helpful for those unfortunate victims of scams.
Do you have press releases for those?
I'm sure we do. I'll send them along. Yeah.
I would appreciate that. I really would. So one last question, Bob. Thank you so much again for being part of this.
My pleasure.
Thank you so much. If you could leave caregivers and families with one message about elder abuse prevention, what would it be?
Well, I would say that a victim of elder abuse is never the same. So never put them in that situation. Okay, do what you can to prevent it. Not you personally, but anything, any circumstance that could contribute to abuse. Because elder abuse is about simply this. You build a trusting relationship. And the minute that trust gets violated, that's abuse.
Yeah.
And, protecting that trusted relationship is vital. And everything that can be done to protect someone that you're caring for because you obviously are caring for that individual. You care for that, but you need to understand things sometimes beyond your control, which may need to be addressed. So there isn't any issues. But caregivers are the most important component of our society, in my judgment. And now we have 63 million of them in this country.
Yeah.
And they're there for a reason. They care for a reason, and this is one extra step just to make sure that something the atmosphere does not allow for any abuse to occur.
Yeah. Yeah, perfect. Thank you. Yeah, you talked about opening things up, shedding light on things, and abuse can't happen if there's communication and there's light shed on what's going on, because bad things don't happen when everything's open and honest. So, Bob, I want to thank you again so very much. When I spoke with Bob, he brought up a couple of laws or bills that are coming down the pike that are really going to affect you as a caregiver and your elder loved one. Tax relief for victims of scams, disasters, and crimes. This bill stands to reinstate the personal casualty and theft loss deduction. It also will allow taxpayers retroactive relief from any losses suffered between the years of 2018 to 2025. It will help victims of scams and frauds such as cybercrimes and theft. It will assist victims of natural disasters such as storms or fire damage. This bill would waive penalties where scammers force people to withdraw large sums of money from their account. And it will protect citizens from financial double jeopardy, crimes, or fraud. The Older Americans Act is the predominant federal act supporting seniors ages 60 and above. This act focuses on keeping seniors as independent as possible. The primary services offered are home-delivered and congregate meals, transportation to and from doctors and other errands that need to be run, job training for older Americans with low income, protections for the rights of elders. It also provides caregiver support for those who need to take care of their loved ones and cannot work because of that needed care. The Act provides grants to agencies to bring care and services closer to elders, so travel time is reduced. It provides assistance to keep people independent and living on their own longer, which reduces nursing home admissions, and provides more comfort to the elder because they are aging in place in the home where they are more comfortable. One interesting fact as to why this act should pass in 2026 is that for every $1 that is spent from the federal government, that $1 investment generates approximately $3 in value. This act more than pays for itself. I want to say one last thank you to Bob Blancato from the National Elder Justice Coalition for sitting down with me and really having this wonderful conversation. The bills I talked about, there was a lot of information changing hands between Bob and I, and also after when I described what these bills really cover. So I have inserted links to those bills in the description box below. Now, we have one more video in this series, and that is how to be an advocate. How could you reach out to your legislatures and tell them what matters to you most? Just know you are loved, know you are appreciated, know you are needed on this planet, and know that I wish you nothing but blessings.